Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be speaking Halloween 6. I wouldn't say Halloween 6 is one of the more or most hated Halloween films that there is of the franchise, personally speaking. I don't think it's too bad, but today I'm going to be going through some of the things that I think ruined Halloween 6 and how I think the film could have been restored, fixed. I've got about 7 or 8 things that, not just me, because I don't necessarily think all of these, and I'll explain that further, but this is what I see reoccurring whenever I see people talking about what they maybe didn't like about Halloween 6, and number one that we're going to be talking about today, probably not the biggest problem, Michael was kind of fat-shamed, and is being fat-shamed because of this movie. Michael's a little bit stocky in this one, and I think some people do actually really like that, whereas others are not so keen of it. You know, Nick Castle in Halloween 1 is very kind of, maybe slender is the word, but he's a very slim man. Whereas George P. Wilbur just carries a little bit more weight. He fills that jumpsuit out a little bit more, and it does give us a... I never thought at any point that it's like, oh, this is like a tubby Michael Myers. He just kind of looks really big, which with me personally, more often than not, it actually added to the kind of like scariness, or yeah, just like the general scariness of Michael Myers in this film. I think the fact that he was a little bit bigger than we'd maybe like been used to seeing him made him a little bit more intimidating to me, and I actually thought that like Michael's build in this wasn't really an issue at all. I understand it is quite a different one and it stands out a little, but yeah, some people do have problems with the build of Michael, which is going to lead me to my next point, which is the mask. Now, if I was to take a guess of the general Halloween community, I want to say that most of us do like the mask, or a more percentage than not do actually like this mask. It is a little different and it is a little big, but I definitely say that it is a better mask than Halloween 4, Halloween 5. I think it's definitely more intimidating than H2O, and as much as I do love that original mask in the first one, I do have to say part of the fun for me at times when like a new Halloween comes out, something that we all kind of, you know, like have theories on and guess on is what the mask is going to be like. So I think to an extent, while I always do want a good mask and I'd rather have a previous mask that was good than a brand new one that, you know, might not be as good, but part of the fun for me is, you know, seeing what they come up with Michael this time. And I thought the Halloween 6 one was alright. I didn't think it was too bad at all. There are a couple of things that I did see. Now we are going to get into the stuff that I genuinely dislike about the film and would want to change. And we're going to kind of kill two birds with one stone right here, and it's the, you know, opening scene. I do not like the opening scene at all, and I don't like the baby that we're introduced with. Obviously, Michael and Jamie's like love child. Every time I say that, I can't believe that's actually part of the Halloween franchise. It's just terrible. It's what really ruins this film for me, the fact that like that is kind of the plot and the storyline. I don't like it at all. I did see a comment about this on, it was either Reddit or maybe another YouTube video, but I did see that somebody said that in that opening scene when the whole cult's there, it would have been so much better if, with that like escape scene with the baby, it would have been so much better if Michael just kind of did what he does in the hospital room later in the film to all of those cult people. I know, obviously, that would kind of kill the plot that we got with the cult and, yeah, the characters that come back in that, but I think that would have significantly improved the film, in my opinion. So yeah, us being introduced to Michael's baby, as well as the intro, and that leading us into my next point, which is how they handled Jamie's character, and how they kind of handled Danielle Harris. You know, I know behind the scenes Danielle Harris has had her kind of ups and downs with the franchise, but I think the two solid performances she gave us as a child in Halloween 4 and 5. You know, I understand with the plot, obviously, not making Jamie, like, appear to be a more grown woman. That plot looks even more, you know, fucked up, which, yeah, you don't really have to say more. Like, if they had cast Jamie for that part, it would have just been even, like, it would have been even weirder, obviously, but I think, you know, you can kill Jamie off earlier in the film or like in the opening scene, but, you know, give her a small role in which she does die, you know. It would be unfortunate, but at least with it being Danielle Harris acting, we'd have felt that kill a bit more. To me, I get it's obviously meant to be Jamie, but it just doesn't feel like it because you go from Halloween 4, Halloween 5, And then Halloween 6, it's just some random actress, which, you know, obviously no insult to her. She didn't do anything wrong. She showed up, did the part well. But yeah, I just think the way that they handled Jamie Lloyd's character, as well as Danielle Harris, with the whole, you know, the baby storyline and not getting Danielle Harris back, I don't think that was too great. It would have been something that I'd have definitely done differently had I had the chance. And I could spend ages going into the plot. I didn't think the acting as a whole was too great. I don't actually think Paul Rudd's that good in this film. If I'm honest, I don't know whether that's an unpopular opinion. Obviously, he went on to do crazy things in Hollywood, so he obviously does have some talent. But I feel like in that, it was just an odd performance. It just felt so weird. But it was kind of the point in Tommy's character in this. It was to be a little bit weird. So yeah, aside from pretty much the whole plot, because as a whole, I just think the film is a bit of a weird goose chase for Michael's, you know, baby. And, you know, we delve deep into the cult of Thorn and all of that stuff. So if you know, if that's the side of Halloween you like, Halloween 6 is the film for you. But those of you that don't like Thorn, obviously it wasn't the film for us. But that does lead me to the endings. Obviously, we have the producer's cut, which involves Loomis having it passed on. And we get to see that. We get to see, obviously, Michael make his escape, and Loomis gets the like the Thorn symbol like engraved on him, I guess, or whatever. And I guess that's him cursed. But then in the theatrical cut, obviously, where Paul Rudd or Tommy beat Michael, we see that one of the needles or syringes and Michael's mask is on the floor, and we hear Dr. Loomis screaming. Now, right off the bat, I think both of these are utter shit. I think they're terrible, terrible endings. If I had to pick one, it would probably be the theatrical cut. Us just not seeing that happen to Loomis. Like, as I said, I don't think either of the endings are great or do any justice to the film or anything like that. But I feel like when the film's done, you just kind of are sat there like, what the fuck just happened? So yeah, I did not like that. I think, you know, with the way the film was, I didn't think that like the final act as such was too bad. I thought, you know, that scene in like the lab was actually quite tense, and, you know, it puts all our main characters in one room as such. So, you know, it wasn't a terrible final act, but yeah, I just think the way they handled the ending, both of the endings, just weren't good. And they are the things that I don't like about Halloween 6. Let me know down in the comments below whether you absolutely loved Halloween 6, or, you know, if you agree with some of my points, some other things that you might change if you want to go a little bit deeper into the plot down in the comments. I'd be interested to know what you guys do think. But that is it for this video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Halloween 6 because I watched it earlier, which was random. I never really usually put that on unless I'm doing like a bit of a marathon. But yeah, I did it. I watched it. I didn't hate it, but I did kind of just sit there for a while, and, you know, I made a few notes that I've spoken about today, and I was just like, why the fuck did that happen? Like, why did we get that? So yeah, as I said, leave down in the comments below what you think, and I will see you in the next one.